Shalom. Back here again with another lesson. Would have been little bit of news and prophecy real quick, little updates. Um, want to start off giving praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Kodash. All praise and double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who brought out this truth many, many years ago, and still to this day preaching this truth. I want to say shalom to all the true believers, the men and the women that's learning, teaching, and seeking the Lord out with all sincerity and due diligence. I want to say to you all shalom. So back another lesson real quick. Now we're gonna get straight into it. As you can see, you know, everybody's the big talk around town right now is Venezuela, being abducted. Not Venezuela, yeah, Venezuela being taken over by America, Maduro being captured, and that's pretty much what's going on right now. But this is right now everybody's talking about it. It's a basically a cover up for what's to come, which is the MOTB, the mark of the beast, the RFID, micro the chip, the digital IDs, the 6G, the 7G. Our First Amendment rights, about to get taken away. They're trying to about to crack down on that, but we'll grab a couple articles real quick and get into it. Now you see, like I said, the talk around town, it says Venezuela President Nicolas Maduro and his wife have been abducted in New York. Let's see, a little bit bigger. Has been abducted in New York on several related charges related to drug trafficking and weapons, which we all know is bullshit because Trump just wanted to go over there, and take their oil and their resources, and just destroy the economy even more than what it is and set up shop, just like he did in Haiti, just like he did in all these other countries that they went over there, Iraq and Iran and all that different stuff, set up shop, did the same thing. Right here, it says U.S. President Donald Trump confirmed that his forces carried out large-scale airstrikes on Venezuela, and that the oil-rich, here's the main part right here, the oil-rich Southern American country leader Nicolas Maduro has been captured, flown out of the country. U.S. Secretary of State of Marco Rubio said that the military strikes in Venezuela were meant to provide a cover for the capture of the country's president, pretty much, and also too, they had a CIA agent, a spy, that was over there Venezuela that gave them all that information. So that's why America had those ships, blocking off the oil tankers. They was, intercepting them and then seizing those ships. And that's why they waited to move in, and, at a certain time because they had all the information where Maduro was, how it was going to be, and all these different things. And so let's continue. It says Maduro is now facing several charges related to narcotics trafficking, weapons on U.S. soil. He has long denied such allegations and claimed that the U.S. using them as a pretext for military aggression in order to topple his government. Same thing he did over there in Iraq with Saddam Hussein. They claim that Iraq and them over there had weapons of mass destruction, but it was all for their gas, oil, resources, gold, and all these different things. Same thing they did with here, over there in Venezuela, because you see the main thing that it says that oil-rich Southern American country leader Nicolas Maduro, but the main part, like I hear said, was oil-rich. So that's pretty much what they went over there for: the oil, the resources, the minerals, all these different things like that. So they made him more lies, and he was drug trafficking, bombing fishermen boats, just making up all different lies because Maduro and them didn't want to do a deal with America because they know how wicked America is, and they know that they would get the shit end of the deal. And so what happened with America, don't when you don't want to take America's deal, you want to give them no hand, don't want to give them a piece of the pie. America's going to make up lies about you, and then come, destroy you, just like they did in Haiti, just like they did in Iraq. Same thing in Venezuela and all these other different countries. Just so they can come in and take their resources, man. Just all these different things. He's a liar. He's a liar from the beginning, man. And so you saw them just still showing their power. But the first precept right here, I want to move over here to John chapter 10, verse 10. It says, the thief, who is that thief? That's Esau, even the so-called white man in the Edomite nation. It said, the thief cometh not, but to steal and to kill and destroy. And that's the main point. It also says, I come that they may have life and they may have it more abundantly. But the main point is that the thief cometh not, but for to steal and to kill and destroy. So who is that thief? Again, that would be considered America. Esau, even the so-called white man, aka Babylon, man. What are they doing? They stole Maduro and his wife, captured them, brought them back in America. They lied on him, saying he was drug trafficking and all these different things. Saying they did with Saddam Hussein, even the thing with Osama bin Laden, claiming that he did that stuff for 9/11. But in reality, we all know 9/11 was an inside job, right? And it says, well, for to steal, what are they stealing? Their oil, their resources, their minerals, their gold. all the things that help Venezuela runs, sufficiently how it is so far. It's still a third world country, but what kept it going was the oil, the resources, and the minerals, all the good things that they had over there. And to kill, and I'm sure he went over there, killed a few people, bombing the fishermen boats, a lot of innocent people, claiming that they were drug trafficking boats, but I'm sure they were, like I said, Venezuela said they were bombing fishermen boats and all these different things, and to destroy. And what is he destroying? He's helping destroy his economy. Them people over there in Venezuela think that America's going to help their economy, but America's just there really for the oil and to set up shop and to put sanctions and all these different things and over there in Venezuela, man. Right? So let's continue on this article. Uh, it says U.S. General Bombardier later announced that Maduro and his wife have been abducted in New York on charges of narco-terrorist conspiracy will soon face the wrath of American justice. Yeah, but we all know because it's ways to do things. Like it's ways around it, but America is such a bully and so greedy. It's some type of law to where if he really was doing that, they would have to go away about it in a more lawful way, if that makes sense. I don't want to say righteous, but in a better, easier way, other than somebody getting taken out or doing all this and bombing and setting up shop. But America wanted to still show its power, So America is just being a bully, man. Still, you know, wants to do what he wants to do. Right. So another precept I want to grab, of course, is I'm gonna go back to Habakkuk chapter 2 real quick. I want to grab 6 through 8. I think I spelled that wrong. Take this. Damn, still spelled it wrong. God damn it. Let me see. Let me see. Habakkuk. Slack. Let's see. Habakuk. You can't spell it none. God damn. All right, Habakkuk chapter 2. I'm gonna get out of NLT. Slack. Verses 6 through 8. Habakkuk chapter 2, verses 6 to 8. And it says, but soon their captors will taunt them and will mock them, saying, what sorrow awaits you, thieves? Did we not just read, the thief coming out to steal, kill, and destroy, which, as I said, would be America, would be aka Babylon and the government. And it says, now you will get what you deserve. You have become rich by extortion. Extortion I used this by last lesson. It's something that you take by force or unlawfully. You taking something by force, which is what they're doing. They went up there, lied. A lot of Manduro talking about drug trafficking. Bombed them. Staged a little bomber to kidnap Manduro. You know what I'm saying? Take him out, and then now they setting up shop over there. In Venezuela. And so now, they become rich by extortion. America just become richer because America is slowly being broken down. They losing their resources. They, are in debt. So now that they got their hands on this oil, that's going to give them some revenue, more money. You know what I'm saying? It's going to release some of that debt. It says you become rich by extortion. How much longer can this go on? Right here, we even go up here. Wealth is treacherous and the arrogant are never at rest. They open their mouths wide as the grave, and like death, they are never satisfied. And their greed have gathered them many nations and swallowed up many peoples. And again, America has over 800 military bases throughout the whole earth because they're greedy, man. They're being bullies. We already read 6. Now let's go to 7. It says, suddenly your debtors will take action. See, the debtors gonna take action. They will turn on you and take all you have while you stand trembling and helpless. While America's in debt, they're going there, causing wreaking havoc on all these different places in the world and all these different nations, stealing their resources, stealing no oil. What makes that so-called nation at the time, rich, through their resources and the revenues and all these different things like that. So now America, they're taking all these different nations, resources to cover their debt. And again, suddenly your debtors will take action. They will turn on you and take all you have while you stand trembling and helpless. Right here it says, because you have plundered many nations, now all the survivors will plunder you. You committed murder throughout the countryside and fill your towns with violence. What sorrow awaits you who build big houses with money gained dishonesty, and that's America, man. All of America was built off the backs of the Israelites. They created genocide off the Native Americans. We came, brought us over here. At least some of us was already over here, but still brought more of us over here. The Israelites, when we was pushed out of Rome, you know, fled it to West Africa to try to blend in. Them motherfuckers ended up selling us to Christopher Columbus and then brought us over here. And then, we built up America, you know what I'm saying? And that's how, America became rich soil off slaves' backs, off the Israelite backs. Kind of like how it was in, Egypt, the Pharaoh. Um, let's continue. It says, but by the murders you committed, you have shamed your name and forfeited your lives. So America, how how people used to say how great America, how great of a country America is. Not everybody's waking up and seeing through the bullshit. They have put a shame on their name. America's a bully. They are liars. They are thieves. They are, demonic. Whatever everything they represent. They're anti-Messiah. Right here, and it says, the very stones in the walls cried against you, and the beams in the ceiling echoed the complaint. What sorrow awaits you who build cities with money gained through murder and corruption? That's Babylon. That's what they doing, man. They talking about going to Cuba. They talking about going to Colombia. They just went over there in Nigeria. Well, I'm Nigeria. Now they finna set up shop there. It's all a game to set up shop and steal these people resources and the oil, the minerals, the gold, anything that America has take to make them richer, right? So I think that was it for that one. But let's continue on this article right here. It says Venezuela Interior Minister Diosdado Calabello Rondon has told the country's troops to trust leadership, while Foreign Minister Yavin Gil have accused Washington of seeking gain control of Latin American national resources. This Unitary Minister. Let's continue. It says numerous of videos have emerged of serious heavy explosions across Venezuela capital. Carcass footage shown attacks in two other parts of the country also been geolocated. One clip features the outline of several Chinook military helicopters swooping across the city. In a statement, Moscow has condemned U.S. aggression, called for immediate clarification on Maduro's whereabouts, and laminated the ideological hostility has triumphed over business like pragmatism, if I'm saying that right. Uh, Multiple Western countries have expressed concern, claimed they are monitoring developments in the diplomatic teams in Venezuela capital. But you get the point, man. America's still out here being a bully. They're still out here uh, taking people oil resources, trying to show that they have power in our reality. They know that their time is almost up. So now they, like I said, they're about to try to hit Mexico up, go over there, deal with the cartel, hit up Cuba. You know what I'm saying? Also, too, what is it? They was hitting up. It was another place. It was Cuba. Oh, Colombia. Colombia, Cuba, and Mexico, man. So they, trying to get all these different countries their resources. Said just so they can stay on top. They still to show that they have power. So I got another article pulled up to you. Just read some real quick. Trust the leadership. Venezuela. This is what I want to. I think. I don't think if it's saying trust in American leadership because I know America has taken over Venezuela. That's why I got quiet real quick. I'm trying to. I read this earlier. Seeking to gain control of Latin American nations' natural resources. Yeah. So if I'm thinking that's what I'm saying, trust the leadership because I know America has taken over right now, and I want to grab that too real quick in the article. I want to move up. This is the next one I'm getting into. But right here, I know Trump and them taking control over everything, and I'm thinking they're saying trust the leadership right here. And it says at the top, Salakia, it says Trump says U.S. will run Venezuela following Maduro's capture. And right here, and it says after carrying out a regime change operation in the oil-rich South American country, President Trump says the U.S. will run Venezuela until such time as a safe, proper, judicious transition can take place. He also announced the U.S. will will be deploying American oil companies to the country. Because I remember, like I said, I had an article on one of them when I did my other lesson a couple weeks ago. How in 2007, 2008, that Venezuela dropped a company like Exxon, Chevron, if I'm saying it right, Coco Phillips. They didn't want to do business with them, and they had cut them out of the deal. And America was pissed about it, and so America been planning the whole time to eventually go back and set up shop again, but pretty much how they did now, and steal the resources that way. Trump made the comments during a press conference shortly after forces swooped over Venezuela capital, Caracas, early on Saturday. Venezuela President Delcy Rodriguez said that Nicolas Maduro is the only legitimate president of Venezuela after Trump claimed that she has been sworn in his replacement following capture during a military operation. Continue says It says calling for calm following his kidnapping. She has demanded the release of Maduro and his wife. It says that Venezuela will never become a colony of any foreign power. And America not gonna worry about that. They don't believe that. Trump don't even think she's probably fit to be ruling the country. So Trump ain't gonna worry about that. It says President Nicolas Maduro and his wife been captured by the U.S. Special Forces in the Operation Re Rendition. If I'm saying that right, on American warship, with Venezuelan leaders being held blindfolded and handcuffed. It says we're going to run the country until such time as we can to do safe, proper, and judicious transition. Trump told the media, and he says we're there now. We're going to stay there such time when the proper transition can take place. We're going to have our very large U.S. oil companies, the biggest anywhere in the world, go in, spend billions of dollars, fix the badly broken infrastructure. The oil infrastructure start making money for the country, and we ready to stage a second and much larger attack if we need to. See, he wants to go over there to Colombia. He wants to go to Mexico. He wants to go over there to Cuba. So we are prepared to do a second wave. Trump added. Venezuela's interior minister has told the country's troops to trust the leadership, while Foreign Minister Yvonne Gill has accused Washington of seeking to gain control of the Latin American national resources. So, you know, that's why the Bible said, let's go to it real quick. Sirach chapter 12, verse 10 through 20 says, never trust your enemy. For like rusting of copper, so is his wickedness. Even if he humbles himself and goes about cringing, watch yourself and be on guard against him, and you will be to him like one who has polished a mirror, and you will know that it is not hopelessly tarnished. Do not put him next to you, lest he overthrow you and take your place. Do not have him sit at your right hand, lest he try to take your seat of honor. And at last you will realize that the truth of my words and be stung by what you have said. So that's the main point. Never trust your enemy. America saying they're gonna run Latin America, go run Venezuela, build it up, make it better, build the economy infrastructure. But we all know that's bullshit, man. They gonna make it harder for them guys. And a lot of the people love America, but Trump is gonna make it harder for them. That's why the Bible says again, never trust your enemy. So all those people over there in Venezuela that's cheering that America is there, and they saying right here, it says, where was that? Trust the leadership. Nah, man, why would you trust the leadership? Trump and them has already came over there, lied on your people, lied on your president, saying he was doing this and doing that, and now he's in there, lit up a couple of things with the bombs and the missiles real quick, and then kidnapped Maduro, and now he's over there running things. And this lady talking about some right here, calling for his kidnapping. She had demanded the release of Maduro and his wife. America's not gonna listen to this person. They don't give a fuck about this person. That's why they there. And you see what he said right here. Um, we are going to have a real large right here. Stage the second large attack. I'm trying to see where it was at. Oh, right here. We're going to stay until such a time as a proper transition can take place. I mean, they was over there in Iraq for like 20, 15, 20 years. It might be the same here, even though we don't have that much time because we know the Lord coming back, but they don't have that much time, man, and they just sitting over there about to wreak havoc on these people. Also, to another precept I want to graph. Oh yeah, Isaiah. Let's go back to Blue Letter Bible, Book of Isaiah, 24. We're gonna go to 30, verses 1 through 4. This is when they say it right here, the main point is what I'm getting into. It says trust the leadership. And that's what's gonna lead to their destruction. As I said, never trust thy enemy. In the book of Sirach, chapter 12, verse 10, it says, "Wheresoever or wait my rebellious children," says the Adonai Yahweh. That's the tribe of Israel. Right now we're talking about the northern tribe. You make plans that are contrary to mine. You make alliances not directed by my spirit, piling up your sins. They're teaming up with America. Trust the leadership. Trust what's going on. Trust the process, basically. We all know that's bullshit, man. It says, for without consulting with me, you have gone down to Egypt for help. You have put your trust in Pharaoh's protection. You have tried to hide in his shade. You see that, and that's what they're doing, man. They trusting in America, trusting that America they gonna America just like it. They're trusting in America, thinking they gonna make Venezuela, build up the infrastructure and help better them. But it's all just gonna make it worse, man. America has never helped nobody out. It has never made anybody better. Every time he went somewhere, he made it worse. It was every time he went somewhere, it was nothing but rape, rob, and murder. It's gonna be the same thing there. It says, "For without consulting me, you have gone out of Egypt for help. You have put your trust in Pharaoh's protection. You have tried to hide in the shade." It's like it says, but by trusting Pharaoh, you will be humiliated, and by depending on him, you will be disgraced. For though his power stands on, and his officials have arrived in heinous, it says all who trust in him will be ashamed, and he will not help you. Instead, he will disgrace you, and that's the point. America's gonna put these niggas to shame. A lot of these northern tribes, we was talking about it in the chat how they love, Esau, even the so-called white man. How Mexico and them do the northern tribe, the Mexicans, Venezuela. Even we was talking about the Hamites over there in Nigeria, and then look what happened in Nigeria. They have bombed Nigeria, set up shop over there, stealing their oil, stealing their gold, stealing their resources over there. Same thing they're doing in Venezuela. Same thing they're about to do with Cuba, hitting all the northern tribes, uh, North America. It's like South America, Cuba, Mexico, Colombia. These guys been, want to be white, want to had they got that fair light skin, the long blonde hair like the white man and all that shit. So they finna get put to shame too, man. You know? All right. I think that was next. Let's get another article real quick. Just want to grab that. I got another article I was looking at as well. And the Lord willing this is edifying. I know I'm not the best speaker, but Lord willing this is edifying. Right here, it says Israel declares war on free speech, and like I said, like all the other stuff, that's going on in Mandora that everybody's talking about, you know, like I said, it's going on. It's an important part of privacy, but it's a cover for another important piece of privacy, but it's the RFID microchip. First, the freedom of speech as well. They got the 6G, the 7G, that digital ID that's rolling out, that's already in over there in the UK. Some they got in the place over there I seen in Niger. They got it over there, digital IDs, and it's going to get closer as time go on, man. Even I had another lesson I did, I think, a couple days ago, where he said that in 2026 your children will fight and die for Israel. And right here, they was talking about this too. Israel declares war on free speech. Americans who post hate speech will will be jailed for 5 years. See that? And hey, these times are coming, man. We not even finna be out here on the streets. They finna get rid of everybody who teach the names of Yahweh, Yahweh, anybody who speak against their agenda. They're about to get rid of these people, man. Right? It says America tradition of free speech protected by the First Amendment to be set to be abolished, according to Benjamin Netanyahu, if I'm saying that right, who was warned America in it's in their best intention to listen very closely to his instructions, comply or else. See that? And that's how they're gonna be with the mark of the beast, the MOD, the MOTB, the RFID microchip. It's gonna be one government, one religion, one rulership, right? And this gonna be a part of it. We can't speak out against the agenda, and if we do, they gonna punish us. They gonna jail us. They gonna kill us. You already see what's gonna happen. Same thing that was going on back in the day. We're gonna grab a precept in a minute with that. Let me see where it's at. Yep. Not right now. Not even grab that. And we're at the precepts right now. I'm gonna read it a little bit more. It says, according to Netanyahu, who is touring America during Christian holiday season, Israel is eliminating free speech for common good, and Americans who dissent from the Zionist cause must not be allowed to participate in society. See that? So if we not, let's look at this word real quick, because I don't even know what this word means. If I can look it up. So like, yeah, I can't look it up. Might have to grab it on my phone. See, I'm gonna look it up on my phone real quick. So like, okay, dissent means to disagree or withhold approval by majority opinion, decision, or policy, often expressed through a formal dissenting opinion by a judge who disagrees with the court's ruling. It says basically just means disagreement. So basically, America who disagrees or dissents from Zionist cause must not be allowed to participate in society. So the ones who doesn't agree with this agenda, the one who disagrees with the agenda, doesn't take the offer of the microchip, we will not be a part of that society. So we're not part of that number. We're not worried about taking that offer of the microchip. So we already know what they talking about. America soon will be policed by hate speech laws. See, soon, drafted by non-Americans, and Israel will be guaranteed it will be granted backdoor access to surveillance tools to monitor the behavior of American citizens, both online and offline. See that? So they already know they already know where we at, man. No matter that's why you gotta count the cost before you come into this truth, man, because this ain't no game. You see what we up against, you know? Let's continue. It says and if it sounds like a future you don't want to live in, you need to understand this quickly. The lock on this prison is being installed right now. So they doing this right now as we speak. Been working on it, but the article is just not coming out. It says, and once it clicks into place, there's no turning back. It says, while visiting U.S. over the holiday, Netanyahu told whoever the name is, leaders of Israel, has now designed the United States as the A front of Israel forever war. Netanyahu has added the United States to the list of Gaza, which they have flattened Lebanon, because Gaza had that gas, the gas resources, so they killed all them, and now they taking their resources as well. Lebanon, which have been terrorized for decades, the West Bank, Syria, Iraq, Yemen, Iran. If that doesn't send chills down your spine, you should check your pulse because Netanyahu wasn't speaking a metaphor; it was a strategy confirms the psychological operations being run on American citizens for Israel's benefit. See that? Remember last article I had on my last lesson. It said Israel will fight in. I mean, Americans will fight your children of America will fight and die for Israel because America's the puppet. Nothing moves without the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers say so. Nothing goes through without them. So America's just a face. America's just a puppet. While they hide behind closed doors, hide behind these computers, these people here are you know telling them what to do behind closed doors. America's just a puppet. They draining them dry. That's why America kept giving all the money to Ukraine. That's why America is stepping on these smaller countries to take their resources to cover up that debt. They in like $40 million, $40 trillion of debt, man. That's why they know these different countries stealing their resources, stealing their oils to pay some of that debt, to steal their resources to keep like they on power, keep like they still on top, but they not. America, the plug is being pulled on America, man. Each day the drain goes down, right? Uh, but the first precept I want to grab real quick before I go any further, we're gonna go to the book of Revelation, Revelation chapter 2. Revelation chapter 2. Let's spell that right. Yep, Revelation sorry, I'm idiot. Mm-mm. I did it wrong now. Revelation 13 to 15, so like it. Okay, let's go down to 15. And it says, He has permitted to give life to a statue so that it cannot speak. It's not a little statue, but it's his like the AI technology. Everything is made in his image, you know, stuff like that. It says the statue of the beast commanded that anyone refuses to worship it must die. You see that? And it says he required everyone, small and great, rich or poor, free and bond, and slave, to be given a mark on the right hand or on their foreheads. So anyone that goes against this agenda, anyone that goes against, the any disagrees with everything that America and Israel and them stand for, they gonna get killed if they don't comply. You will not be able to survive in society, as it said up here in this article. Let's grab that real quick. Right here it says, according to Netanyahu, who is touring America during the Christian holiday season, Israel is eliminating free speech for the common good, and Americans who disagrees from the Zionists must not be allowed to participate in society. See that? So they're gonna be thrown into camps, thrown into prisons, beaten, tortured, all these different things, man, for speaking the true names of Yahweh Hawashah, for speaking out against this agenda. Right? Let's go to Revelation. Stay in the book of Revelation. Go to Revelation chapter 20, verse 4. Right here, and it says, Then I saw thrones of people sitting on them who had been given the authority to judge, and I saw the souls of those who had been beheaded for the testimony about Yahweh and for the proclaiming of the word of the Lord. They had not worshipped the beast and were his statue, nor accepted his mark or on their foreheads or their hands. They all came to life again and reigned with Hamashiach for 1,000 years. You see that? So we're going to, a lot of us is going to get killed for the testimony of Yahweh Shai, just like in the days of old with the prophets when they was, you know, teaching out, going against the agenda. They kept telling them, hey, we don't want you preaching about Yahweh Shai. Stop breaking up this man's name. What they do, they're tortured. I'm just like Stephen. Stephen was crucified. He was a crucified. He was stoned for, giving the testimony about Yahweh Shai. Same thing what they're going to be doing to us, stoning us, cutting our heads off, torturing us, putting us in the concentration camps. I mean, we're gonna be tried, we're gonna be tested because for speaking out against this agenda. They know who we are, they know who we at, so it doesn't matter. Ain't no point in trying to hide, man. That's why I said you had to be rooted and stand firm in Yahweh, Yahweh because these times is coming right here, man. Right here, one more in the Revelation. I do have Revelation, Revelation chapter 2. I was just in the wrong area at the time. Revelation chapter 2, we're gonna do verse 9 and 10 real quick. And right here, we're gonna start at verse 9. It says, I know about your suffering and your poverty, but you are rich. What are we rich and rich in faith? I know the blasphemy of those opposing you. They say they are Jews, but they are not because their synagogue belongs to Satan, and that's these small hats out here, the faggot ass Israelis, Netanyahu and all these different guys over there who's claiming to be the proclaimed children of Israel, when in reality they really not. It says, you see, they say their synagogue belongs to Satan. Why? Because all they doing is complete wickedness, the anti-Messiah, and now they want to come against the prophets who doesn't want to participate and doesn't want to speak and wants to speak out against the agenda. It says, don't be afraid of what you're about to suffer. The devil will throw some of you into prison and test you. You will suffer for 10 days, but if you remain faithful, even when facing death, I will give you the crown of life. So that's what we still doing this for, man. We know what's coming. We have this knowledge, wisdom, understanding that keep us sane. But when these times come, man, hey, some of us gonna die. Some of us gonna get our heads cut off. Some of us gonna get tortured. Some of us gonna get thrown into these prisons. You know what I'm saying? We're not worried about it, man, because we gonna have that faith. Everybody's gonna get tried, but most importantly, the elect, we not gonna fold, man. Lord, we're part of that number, right? So we're not gonna fold. That's what I'm saying. We gotta be rooted in Yahweh, Yahweh Shah. We gotta make sure we gotta count the cost before we get into his, man, because this is what's coming. These hate speech laws is coming quick, and they're not gonna stop. They wanted to cut out because they know that the truth is being, all the lies they've been telling that they the real people, all the lies they've been saying that this and that, and we ain't nothing. But in our reality, now that the Lord has set up the prophets and the elders and apostles to bring out this truth, and it brought down to us, and now we teaching it, and we believe and we have faith through Yahweh Hawashah. And so now he want to quiet us down, but we not gonna comply because we have that faith in Yahweh Hawashah. Like I said, we want that crown of life. We trying to get that victory, man. Right? I want to grab a little bit more. Right? Even right here, it says, believe Jews are the only humans and everyone else are subhumans who must be subjuged by any means possible. Fighting anti-Satan and declaring you should fight back, you should attack your attackers. It said, how is it allowed to incite violence against America in the synagogue in the U.S.? Although former Prime Minister of America, Sawyer calling the violence against American expression their constitutionally, I'm saying that right, protected political pens is not humiliating enough. We now have Israeli billionaires with thick Israeli accents lecturing us on TV why Israel must control our social media platforms and control American speech. uh, let's continue. There's some more I want to read. All right, here it says, according to Israel, it's time for the U.S. government to use technology crush dissent online and allow only a single Zionist narrative in society, just like how authorization author authorization China controls the citizens. I remember when I worked at the distribution center out there in Texas with my cousin. It was a Chinese dude. I forgot his name, but he was my fork truck driver. And we was in here chatting one time. We was talking about this stuff. He was saying how and he was from a small country. I can't remember where, but it's over there in China. And how if you posted anything on Facebook, they would come and kill you that. They would come and take you and kill you that night, or throw you in prison that night. So he's trying to bring that what's in China. He's trying to bring that to America, and that's coming too. So hey, man, it's coming. It says they think we will lie down and accept it. They think they've already won. They're inside the White House celebrating a week-long Hanukkah event, while Epstein's lawyer, the same man who argued the age of consent should be lowered, is singing about the United States of Israel. He's going to keep his day job representing the worst abusers in the country, writing degenerate op-eds, if I'm saying that right, while partying in the White House for a week, despite the fact vast majority of the country want to see him locked up for life. Yeah, they do. Uh, what's something else he was saying? There was something else I seen. Right here it says as 2026 began, they are going for your throat. And still most people don't know they're under attack. But make no mistake, you are the target. The internet is the new battlefield. Unless you act now, you already lost. Israel is not only controlling the feds, see that, control everything. They're blackmailing Congress. They see control of US social media algorithms. Um, they're paying US influencers to astro. They have somehow managed to shut up Elon Musk, who no longer dares to mention Epstein's name, let alone criticize Israel. See, now they talk about again control your VPNs. That don't mean shit. They still gonna know. But yeah, man, this time coming. We gonna get tried. We gonna get tried. It's gonna get tested, man. Next precept I want to grab with this though, right here is Wisdom of Solomon. We're gonna go through 10 through 19, all pretty much right here. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2. As we read up top, and it says, the wicked thinking, and who is that wicked? Job 9:24, the earth was given to the hand of the wicked. That's the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the ones who run this whole earth. And America is just a puppet. America's part of it as well, but America is just a puppet. Right here, verse 10, it says, will oppress the poor, even if they are righteous. Who is the poor? That's the nation, children, nation of Israel. Not that we're poor, but the ones that we're at the bottom, the one that doesn't have the riches and the resources have to defend ourselves. We don't have an army. We don't have all the guns that American, all these different nations have. We have. That's why we got to trust in how White House shot. He gonna be fighting for us. And if they are righteous, we'll show no respect for widows or old people. So they're coming after everybody, man. Children, old, whatever. And also too, in the KJV version, it was saying protect the widows, which is will be the nation of Israel as well, because the Lord look at us as his bride, as his wife, the nation of Israel. But we had went astray, and we were widowed from him because we had went off and served all these different gods. But this is the revised standard version, so words are different. It says we'll call ourselves right if we are strong enough to get what we want. It says no one ever got anywhere by being weak, and that's what America's doing now. They think they're doing everything by force. They're being forceful with everything. Forceful with Venezuela, forceful with Slovakia, forceful with Iraq, forceful with Haiti. All these different things says righteous people are nothing but a nuisance. So let's look for the chances to get rid of them, and that's what they're trying to do now. Kill, the First Amendment laws over here, the hate speech laws, man. Throw us in the prison for 5 years, torture us, beat us, do all these different things. Right? These times is coming, man. See, America who posts hate speech will be jailed for 5 years, man. So our lessons, us being out there on the highways and hedges, we are the real main target because we're speaking out against the agenda. We're speaking the truth of the Bible. Not the way the Christians who signed the 501c3 charter, not the way they teaching it, not the way that these Muslims teaching it, but we're teaching 100% truth of this Bible. Righteous people are nothing but a nuisance. So let's look at the chances to get rid of them. They are against what we do. They accuse us of breaking the law of Moses, violating traditions of our ancestors, man. You know, that's how you know Esau is the man of lawlessness. Esau never had the laws, and it was never given to him. That's why he is the man of lawlessness. He is the true outlaw. Um, Esau was the man of the field, which means outside the temple. You know, so Esau was never a part of this, man. But and they are, breaking the laws. They're anti-Messiah. They are against everything that the Lord stands for. Everything that the Lord has a law for, they break it. They go against it. They make up their own laws because right now we're in Esau's heaven, and this is our hell. I said they accuse of breaking the law of Moses, violating tradition of our ancestors. They claim to know Yahweh, and they call themselves the Lord's children. We can't stand the sight of people like that. It says what they are contradicts our whole way of thinking. So everything we do, how we act, how we carry ourselves, what we teach about, they have been doing nothing but lying any goddamn way. So everything we do is going against their lies and that they keep putting out. It's going against their laws that they bring out. It's going against the agenda that they're putting out, right? So it contradicts their way of thinking. Their way of thinking, all the laws, all the lies, and everything. When you tell one lie, you got to tell another lie to keep the lie going, right? It says they are not like other people. They have strange ways. See, our ways of living is strange to them because we living in a righteous way. We following and trusting the Lord. You know what I'm saying? We keeping the Sabbath day. We're fasting. We're doing everything that's the scriptures are telling us to do, and we keeping the laws to the best of our abilities. We not living like these other two-third people who's sheep and living in that matrix who can't see beyond their front yard. And since we have this knowledge and understanding, we can see through the bullshit. So the ways to them, how we are living, is strange to them. It says they think that our moral standards are so corrupt that everything that we do should be avoided, which is true. They're anti-Messiah. They boast on having Yahweh for their father and believe that when all is said and done, the only righteous will be happy. Then we just read that in Revelation chapter 2, verse 10. It says, "But if you remain faithful even unto facing death, I will give you the crown of life, man." You see? So we do believe that. Whereas that the boast of having their father and believe that when it's all said and done, the only righteous will be happy. Yes, only the righteous will be happy, the elect, because we're gonna be ruling with Yahweh Shah for 1,000 years. We're gonna have that power seat. But we'll see if that's true. So they're gonna test us. Let's see what will happen when it comes time for them to die. If the righteous really are God's children, God will save them from their enemies. So let's put them to the test. We'll be cruel to them and torment them. See that? So they're gonna torture us, kind of like how they're cruel to us now. They're gonna torture us, put us in jail, put us in concentration camps, humiliate us, shame us, talk shit to us, you know what I'm saying? Cut our heads off, all these different things. These times are coming. Even if you read I remember the second Maccabees when they tortured them, the boys and the mom, they killed the mom and all that stuff, man. They was torturing them boys, killing them boys, torturing them, cutting their flesh off. Days like these things are coming back. It's gonna happen. Nothing is new under the sun, right? You find it says, so let's put them to the test. So like I said, we are gonna be tested. We'll be cruel to them, torment them, and then we'll find out how calm and reasonable they are. We'll find out just how much they can stand. We'll condemn them to a shameful death. After all, they say Yahweh will protect them. See that? So that's their way of thinking, man. And right here, and it says this is how evil people think, but they are wrong. They are blinded. Can you read a little bit more on this? It said they are blinded by their own wickedness. They never known God's secrets, never hope for the rewards of the holy and the blameless life. See that they want to live in wickedness, man. They never cared about trying to live right. It says when they're only about greed and money and being in power. When God created us, He did not intend for us to die. He made us like Himself. It is the devil's jealousy that brought death into the world, and those who belong to the devil are the ones who will die. As Esau, even the so-called white man, to two-thirds who want to cling on to Esau, all them gonna be put to death, man, because they chose their side. They gonna take that mark. But this is something that's going on behind the scenes too that too many people ain't talking about. You know what I'm saying? So this is coming. Then there's one more I want to grab. Look at these fuckers. It says, Kamar Stewart A blows deep state controls UK government. Inside Israeli ports to stage false flag attack against U.S. to start war with Iran. So, hey, war with Iran is coming. Then Iran said it's going to war with Israel, Europe, and America. Those times are coming as well. According to high-level military insider, Israel secretly plotting a false flag attack on American soil, designed to be blamed on Iran, and a calculating bid to drag the United States into a war. See, hey, it's all prophecy. All prophecy is being revealed right now, man. Venezuela opposition leader doesn't have the support or respect to be president, says Trump. See, I just read that. Like I said, I told you Trump was not gonna give a fuck about her being in power. So she talking about something they demand the release of Maduro. Trump like, bitch, please. I don't give a fuck about you. America finna get that oil. That's all they worried about, the resources, trying to stay in power. Right here too. Remember I said how Trump tries to is about to invade Colombia and Cuba. It says Trump wants president to watch his ass following Maduro capture. It says Trump. Let's read a little bit of this one. It says on Saturday, Trump said the South American leader also also needed to watch his ass as he's legally shipping cocaine to the United States. You know, and that's bullshit too, because we all know what the hell's been going on. You know, they've been shipping even when in the times of Frank Lucas. Frank Lucas was going over there to Colombia, Cambodia, and all these different things, and they was using the American planes when they was over there in Vietnam to bring the cocaine back into America. We all know America have their hands in this shit, so it's just more lies that they're just gonna say, "Oh yeah, you've been doing this for so long, now we about to crush you." Just more lies to evade Colombia, but this is like I said, this is their fault too because they love America and want to be white so bad. Now America finna put them to shame, trusting in their oppressor, right? But this ain't the article I want to get. Is one more right here. CIA chief suggests involvement of Israeli intel of Iran's protest. Of course, right here. Rothschild praised Trump after COP in Venezuela. I'm saying co-op in Venezuela, one of the last nations without Rothschild central bank. See that? That's another reason they got Venezuela. They didn't have no ties. Central bank couldn't get their hands on them because they didn't want to do deals with them. And the development that raised eyebrows across the alternative media, members of the powerful Rothschild banking dynasty issued a public praise for President Donald Trump following the military intervention in Venezuela. Nat Rothschild, CEO of the Volter Group and prominent hire to the Rothschild financial empire, issued congratulations to Trump in the wake of U.S. military targeting Venezuela's government and financial system. So they're telling him, "Good job, good. That's a good boy. You listen well." See, Trump, America ain't nothing but a damn, they ain't nothing but a damn we see through the bullshit. They ain't nothing but some damn puppets, man. That's what they telling them. Good boy, good boy, good boy. That's what you're supposed to do. Good job. Like how you talk to a damn dog. America's the puppet. The optics are impossible to ignore. Venezuela is one of the very few nations on earth that has historically resisted the establishment of the Rothschild-controlled Western-style central banking system. Remember I said back in 2007, 2008, Venezuela did not want to do business with the big oil firms of Exxon, Chevron, Coco Phillips, and a few more of them. They didn't want to do deals with them, and so they sent them out, cut them out of the deal. And America was pissed about that. Most importantly, these people, the Rothschilds. See, job well done, Donald J. Trump. Good boy, atta boy. For years, Venezuela financial independence has made it the target of sanctions, regime change efforts, economic warfare. They was able to stand on their own because of the oil and the resources that they had. Now America's there to set up shop. It says now following the U.S. intervention, observed note that praise from elite banking figures appears to confirm long-standing suspicions about who truly benefits from the foreign liberation campaigns. And of course, the Rothschilds, banks, the banking system, the elites, they're gonna benefit more than America. See, right here, he said, of course, Trump gets an attaboy from the member of the Rothschild family after unprovoked attack on Venezuela. That's a confirmation. I was just saying that. Good boy. Attaboy. See that? Even right here. This woman earlier, she's like, a member of the Rothschild family, Dame Hannah Rothschild, publicly confirmed that no government or king goes to war without support from the Rothschild family because of how influential they are become. Let me see what she talked about.
Story. So he was born in a place called the Judengasse, which was a Jewish ghetto, basically, and it was The house that he lived in when he eventually had 13 children was only 14 feet wide, and he lived there with his very, very overpowering and dominant and an incredibly brilliant wife who was called Guttel. He was determined to get out of this ghetto. At night time, the ghetto was closed, you weren't allowed to leave. The street was so narrow that no sunlight could penetrate. There was no plumbing, there was no sewage, there was nothing. So everything you can imagine happened in this street. And unsurprisingly, he wanted to get out of there. And he started a small coin business, and that did reasonably well. But actually, and this is where it ties into legacy, his great strength was to send his 5 sons to the capitals of Europe at that time. And what they did is they set up, in effect, the first international banking system. So, whereas everyone used to be in separate different countries or separate cities until then, these 5 boys communicated with each other, sometimes by pigeon, and they wrote to each other in Judendeutsche, which was a kind of Yiddish German vernacular. And that is why they were so successful. And this,
You see that too? She said they spoke Yiddish German. That's not that we speak Paleo Hebrew. That's how you again. She just cut herself. We speak Paleo Hebrew. The real Jews and Israelites who never met. We spoke Paleo Hebrew, not this. The Jews now, small hats. They speak what she just said. The Yiddish German Hebrew shit. You know, we don't have the A's, the U's and the E's in the Paleo Hebrew.
absolute belief in togetherness. You've got to stand together. You've got to work together. You've got to work across borders. You've got to work with rules. And by 1789, when the last one went to 1815, so a very, very short period of time, it was said that no government or king would consider going to war without the Rothschilds supporting them, because that was how incredibly influential and powerful they had become.
See. So hey man, precept want to grab her going back to Blue Letter Bible. We're gonna go to Second Corinthians. Second Corinthians chapter 2. Yep. Second Corinthians chapter 2. Oh my gosh. I think I spelled that wrong. Damn, I can't spell, boy. Dang, let's see. How do you spell this? Let me see real quick. Second core. That word. Let me see. Yep. Okay, Second Corinthians chapter. That's Galatians. Whole Bible. Let's see. Chapter 2, not chapter 1. It's 13. No, it's. I don't know where the hell 13 came from. Slovakia. I'm trying to get good better with this. All right, Salakia. Second Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. Salakia, sorry, it took a minute. It says, um, you want to grab it out the KJV. Second Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. It says, at least Satan get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant to his devices. So we know what's going on. We knew this all along. That the elites was controlling the earth and that America was a puppet. You know what I'm saying? But they're just now coming out with all this information and all these different things now because they know their time is almost up. So the man of lawlessness is truly being revealed every day, man. Every time they go out here and do some of this shit like this, they showing their true colors. Even the dude over Netanyahu, the man of lawlessness, they know what's going on. So we not ignorant to Satan devices. We stand watchful, we stand sober, vigilant. We paying attention to these things, man. We have that faith. We see through the bullshit, right? So we know we ain't even worried about shit they got going on, but we know it's coming. We know who runs the operation for real. And America is just a face, right? Revelation chapter, not Revelation chapter. We're gonna do last precept, Revelation chapter 12 and 12. I'm reading this out of the KJV. Um, Revelation 12 and 12, and it says, "Therefore rejoice ye heavens that dwell in them. It says, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devils come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time." So this is what's going on now. They starting to ramp up more, to going to all these different nations because they know their time is almost up. They still trying to prove that they have the power, which are reality. Everybody can see that the America is losing this power, man. You know what I'm saying? So they trying to, pay off this debt, try to act like they big and bad, which they're the top country in the world. But if you truly was the top country, go over there and hit up Russia. Go over there and hit up China. Go over there and mess with Iran right now. Because they know all these different nations. Once they want it, or North Korea, once these different nations get hit, they hit with China, Iran, North Korea. All the other nations gonna have to team up and pop off and bust America in the mouth. You see? So they know they have a short time. So they just coming up doing anything they want, saying whatever they want, coming out here just doing whatever the fuck they please, man. But this is all gonna fall back on them if you go, like I said, to the book of Habakkuk. The nations that they're plundering, the alliances that they made with all these different people is gonna turn against them, and America will be destroyed. America is considered the greatest country in the world, but when you have 200 million plus nukes shooting at this place, there's no way in hell that's why you think Trump want to build a golden dome. He want to build that golden dome because he knows it's coming. He knows all these different measures is gonna team up and try to destroy this place, but these people is gonna get put to shame, just like in the book of Obadiah. The heart of that pride have deceived thee, right? So that's pretty much it. Just wanted to bring this out. Just a little bit of news and prophecy. Lord willing, this was edifying. Like I said, I know I can't speak the best I can, but my speech ain't that well. But Lord willing, this was edifying. I brought the precepts out with the articles. Um, Again, want to give all praise, honor, glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. Again, all praise, double honor to the elders and the prophets of the Great Millstone who brought out this truth many, many years ago, still to this day preaching this truth. Again, I truly hope this lesson was edifying. Shalom.